Hi guys! Today we're going to be talking about the Bantu, which are a group of people in Africa. This one is a little bit short, but it's because there's a lot of information and I want to make sure that you understand it. And I want to make sure that you understand our next section too. Because when I put them together it was way too long, but individually they're very short. So today and probably next week, we're gonna have two kind of short videos. So that's why these are a little bit shorter. They were too long put together, but they're kind of short on their own. So the Bantu, we're gonna be talking about the Bantu migration mostly. So in 1500 BC, large groups of Bantu-speaking people from West Africa moved south toward the bottom of Africa. So when I say toward the bottom of Africa, I mean toward this bottom tip down here. Obviously, since the world is round, there is no top of the world, bottom of the world. But when we look at a map, we usually view it a certain way. Right? The map always looks the same when you look at it. So when I say the bottom of Africa, I just mean the bottom on the map we look at. So if you look at this map that I have on your Google slide for you, you can actually see where they move from and where they move to. You might have to zoom in a little bit if you want to look at it in detail, but this big brown area is where they're going to. So it takes them over 2,000 years to migrate. So a migration is just when a group of people moves from one place to another. So let's talk about who they were and where they were going. They're typically fishermen and farmers, and they moved every generation farther south or further east. So when I say every generation, I mean like your mom and dad moved to a new farm and then they had you and your siblings. When you and your siblings became grown-ups, you moved to a new farm and a new place, right? So every generation they kind of went farther south or farther east, just because they were moving out of their mom and dad's farm and going to start their own. They were looking for better land to plant crops, to graze animals, or to fish. So they were looking for new places and better places for them to do their job, right? The pictures I have here are some pictures of what the Bantu people look like today. Obviously, we don't have any pictures of them from the time period we're talking about, but this is what they look like today, and I picked two pictures where they have on traditional clothes so that you can see maybe what they would have looked like. So, new areas. So the Bantu were clans. We talked about clans before, but in case you've forgotten what they were, because it was a while ago, a clan is like a family group. So it's a group of people, most of them are related, and they travel together, they work together, they live together, they kind of do everything together, and there's one person who's in charge. The person who is in charge is usually an older member of the family who is seen as being very smart, very wise, being a good leader. This is something that a lot of cultures do, and so we'll talk about it a lot, but just in case you didn't remember what clans are, it's just a big family group where one person, usually someone older, is in charge and is kind of running how the family works. So when the Bantu were moving, they would move into areas where people already lived. Because throughout most of history, when we move somewhere new, there are already people there. So there were two ways that the Bantu would handle new people. If the people in an area were friendly, they would share their resources with them. So they would share their food with them, they would share the things they made with them, they would be friends. If the people were not friendly, the Bantu would take over an area by force. So they would use weapons and they would fight and they would do what they had to do to make an area theirs. So the reason this is significant is because the main thing that we know about the Bantu is that they were metal workers and they had iron tools and weapons. This is really important for them because iron tools are the best kind of tools. They're the strongest and they're the best. So the fact that they could make things out of metal means that they had sorry, the video just cut off for this side of the screen. I'll fix that. I'm almost done. This was the last slide, so I'll just finish talking and then we'll be done. So since they were able to make metal tools, they had the strongest and the best tools. So that's something really important about them because it tells us why they were able to take over such a huge area. If you go back and look at that map, you can see that it's a giant area that they took over. And it's because they have these iron tools. So I want you to copy this, read it again, think about it, and then I've got 4 questions for you. So it's not anything hard. 4 questions for you. All of them came from this slideshow that we're using. And I want you to answer those 4 questions, and then that's all you need to do for today. All right? If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later.